What is going on, Sabres fans? Welcome to another episode of Sabres Spotlight with your host Matt and Ryan. Ryan, what's going on?
Well, a little behind the pod action here, but this is actually take two of recording tonight. I don't know what was going on. Neither of us do actually. Just like everything was freezing. We tried, talking through the freezing, and it wasn't working, and we're back. So hopefully this goes correctly.
Yeah, hopefully we're better here and no hiccups as we get going here because we got lots to talk about. There's been 4 games since we spoke last, and it's been a little bit up and down for our Sabres. But before we get into that, let's start with our intros. What's new with Ryan?
You know, all I really got to say is how excited I am. On Saturday, I'm having a work party at a bar close to my work, and I think we're gonna have like a pretty good turnout. So your boy is gonna go middle stat mode for everyone that listens to me at work. You're gonna have to carry me out of that bar. It's gonna be fantastic. My wife's gonna drop me off and pick me up, so I don't have to worry about I'm always responsible, but I'm not like that's taken out of my hands completely. So it's fantastic. We got plans to be safe, to drink, to get fucked up, to party, and it's gonna be fantastic.
Just gonna be dummying the drinks all night.
Oh my God, I might be butt chugging by the end of the night.
Okay. Well, where is this again? Where are you guys going for
At
this?
at the Steer on Main Street. So if you walk into the Steer, I think they have an idea that we're coming. I don't. The person that like set it up, I don't even know if he told them if we're coming or not. But if you guys see like a bunch of people in there, a bunch of mail carriers, some people might still have their gear on. That's just us. We're there at a party after a long week.
Is this a formal thing set up by your work, or just a bunch of
Uh,
you guys that talked and were like, "Hey, we're going here on this night"?
well, we kind of try to do it like every year, but it really wasn't formal. It was just like someone wrote on a piece of paper party at the Steer Saturday after work and kind of like taped it to the time clock. But everyone seems to be pretty excited, so it'll be fun.
Nice, 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 nice. Anything else going on?
Oh, nothing. Not except our shitty Sabres. What about you?
Dude. All right. Well, I always got a lot to say. It was a busy, busy weekend before, or since last show. So we had a lot of shit going on. We did a lot of Christmas festivities. So we went to see Santa on Saturday, and we go to the same Santa every year. The Santa, he's out in Alden, so we go to like Alden Pools and Play. We've been doing this for the last 3 years, and this Santa's like really good. He like looks like a good Santa and stuff. And so Riley this year was like scared of him again. She didn't want to sit on his lap. She needed me to hold her and whatnot. But this was Owen's first year, doing Santa Claus. So we took Owen, and he doesn't know any better. He's only 5 months old, so
Yeah,
he
he's
goes up
he's just a
there.
little baby.
Yeah, so he sits on Santa, and Santa's talking to him, and Santa goes to me and Katie. He goes, "So did I tell you this already or no?"
We talked about this on Sunday, but I love hearing
Okay.
about it. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. So
funny.
for the listeners, I gotta share this story because I think it's fucking hysterical. But so we give Owen to Santa, and he's sitting there. He's happy as hell. He's smiling away. So he's sitting on his lap, and then Santa goes, "How old is Owen?" We go, "Oh, he'll be 5 months in a couple weeks." He goes, "Oh, he's a hefty boy."
And I can confirm for Santa, and I know everyone else that knows you guys can confirm, but Owen is a big ass baby. Big
I
baby.
mean, he is a big baby, but like he's like he doesn't look just like he doesn't just have like rolls on rolls on rolls. Like he's
No,
just kind of
he's
like
just
he's
no, he's
proportionate,
not.
but he is
Yeah,
hefty for sure.
he's like I wouldn't say he's a fat baby. I think he's like the Michelin Man. He's just
He is.
bulky.
He legit
He's
is
gonna
like
be
the
a
Michelin
he's
Man.
gonna be a fucking beast and kick your ass when he's like 4 years old.
It was funny though. So we're like driving home, and we're like, we were thinking about it. We're like, did Santa just call our child fat? like Owen just got fat shamed by Santa. He's gonna be scarred for the rest of his life. I was like, oh my gosh.
Santa must have thought he was like 8 months or something.
So we'll see what happens next year when we go back. If when he's actually like a year and a half and maybe has some more size to him. So
It's so funny. So we for the listeners, we had our little Christmas exchange, the four of us and our like our the four of us and then your kids. And so right behind you, is our new sign. We got rid of the little paper sign because our wives got. I didn't set mine up because I gotta change my my area over here, but we got dueling like little flag signs here with our logo and follow us on Twitter and stuff. It's so cool. Thank you to the wives for that. Looks
You already
awesome.
know at Saber Spotlight. I kind of miss my loose leaf sheet of paper, honestly, but
Oh,
this one's much better.
we're gonna save those for when we're big, and then we'll go back and be like, man, can you believe this is where we were?
The followers on Twitter, the followers are just gonna skyrocket after now with this show. But I'm interested. I need somebody to DM us on Twitter and just say, hey, I missed the loose leaf sheet of paper. I need it back in the studio. Also, I was thinking, you know what? Like, if we were actually like good with technology and could do like little like audio edits and stuff, this would be where there's like some drop that says like studio update or some shit, because like
Oh
this is like
yeah.
this week's studio update. We got the nice new banner hanging up on the wall
Oh,
there. But
speaking of that, I've heard from so many people that are like, what happened to the sound intro? Like, what happened to that? Like, you guys need that. And I'm like, listen, bud, we don't fucking know what we're doing. We're trying to get by. 12 weeks into this, we'll figure it out eventually. Let's just take a back seat here and let the boys do the work.
yeah, I mean, we could definitely like we could get it in there by doing the old like iPhone like hookup, like just like playing it over the audio and whatnot. So we could get it, but we'll see if we keep getting a lot of complaints, we'll have to sneak it back in there. But we had your nice little audio snippet last time. That was a spur of the moment thing. So
Oh man, I mean, I feel the same way today. Just absolutely, just it's so weird how we can go 2-1-1 since we last recorded, and yet I'm more upset than I was last week.
well, before we get into talking about the shitheads that are the Buffalo Sabres, I got a couple other things here. So we went to the Festival of Lights out in Hamburg. Have you guys ever been there? You guys ever
Yeah,
go there?
we've been.
So we've gone like pretty much every year, and it's pretty cool. Like I feel like they keep adding more shit each year. The light display is kind of the same. Like it's not bad, but like I mean, it's $30 a carload, but you're paying for like the lights plus like the after thing. Like you can go and they have like their whole like North Pole like setup. It's actually pretty sweet this year. They had like a light display, which I don't remember them doing in years past, but they had it like they had this really big light display going to like there's a lot of like Disney songs playing, and it was synchronized with the lights.
Oh,
So we
that's
just like
cool.
we sat there and watched that for a while, and then we there was like a bunch of like photo opportunities throughout like the thing. They had like a little elves village and stuff. Like I don't know, it was just like it was a lot of fun. I had a good time, and I usually don't have that good of a time there, but for some reason like I just felt like they had more shit this year. So if you haven't been out to Hamburg and you're listening to this, definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun this year.
That
So.
that sounds amazing. Yeah, we haven't gone, and I'm sure the listeners will go out there and have a great time. That sounds like a great time.
And I got one other thing here.
Of
We
course
bought.
you do. Of course you do. Of course you do.
So I had to say this for last because, dude. So Katie has been bugging me about getting a new vacuum at the house forever,
Okay.
and she keeps an eye. There's this one Dyson that she's wanted forever, and it like it goes on sale like every now and again, and it's like whatever. It's like $450, but Target has this like sale every now and then that it goes on sale for like $150 off. So I just bought it the other day. I was just leaving work. I got a Target right by my
Like
work, and
before Christmas? Not even a Christmas
yeah,
gift?
because she wants this damn thing so bad, and I don't want to give it to her for Christmas. I'm like, I'm getting you other stuff. I have other ideas for you. So I'm like, you know what? We kind of need a new vacuum anyways. I'm just gonna get you this vacuum. Katie worked today. I was by myself with the kids. I've been vacuuming all day. This thing is
Is it
fucking
sick?
sweet, dude.
Is it sick? Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it's like it's the wireless one, and it's just like it looks like it's from the future, and it just like,
Yeah.
dude, it just like moves so like smoothly, but then it also you can feel the power, like you feel the dirt coming out of your rugs.
You're selling me on this vacuum.
It was incredible. It was incredible. So I was like, I literally vacuumed the rooms today like 3 times, and I'm like, these are already clean, but I'm gonna do them again.
Dude, that must have scored you so many points. Like, great job. That's
Oh,
great
absolutely,
husbanding right there.
absolutely. All right. Well, that's all I got. Did you got anything else here?
Not that I can. Oh, okay. Now that you just reminded me. So, I got a text from someone about you. The text
Is this a
was
shout out or
from
is this just
no,
intro?
it's just random.
Okay, all right.
So I got a text from my aunt today.
Oh, let's
She goes,
go.
"So I'll make the chocolate crack for Christmas, and I'll make your friend one. Do I need to make anyone anymore?" I
I
said,
love
"No,
it.
thank you. We're both grateful."
I love it. So like that's the best news I've gotten on this. So all my shout outs to Dylan have paid off.
You've never even met my aunt, and she's gonna make you the chocolate crack.
I've never met this aunt, like not even like
No,
at a
never. Not
party or
even
something.
not in passing at all. It's so funny.
All right. Well, hey, that works out. That works out for me. I knew there was a reason we did this show, not just so the Sabres can drive us crazy.
Yeah, it's just so you can solicit, s'more chocolate candy from my family.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to whenever I get this, I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat it on the show here so I can show everybody. And
We
I'll give
should.
every we'll do I'll do like a little cooking snippet. Like I'll
Yeah,
I'll show everybody and I'll try it. We can all share in the goodness together.
that's so
Even though I'll
fucking
be the
funny,
only one
dude.
having it.
It's so funny.
Dude, before we get into the game reviews, because that's where we're gonna start tonight, I gotta show this off. A little Christmas gift,
Yeah, that another gift. Just incredible.
a
I
little
love it.
little Saber Spotlight merch. Got a nice little glass here, and I'm hydrated tonight. I got my water, so
Oh, the water sounds great right now. I put down 2 glasses of some bourbon and I'm kind of feeling it right now. So it's it'll be fun. We're gonna have fun tonight.
all right. Well, let's get into our Buffalo Sabres. So the Sabres, since we talked, so when we spoke last week, we were riled up. They went 0-4 going into that week, so they
Yep.
literally had no points in between shows. Much better this time, although it doesn't necessarily feel a lot better. But they've gone 2-1-1 since we spoke last week. Wins over Boston and Arizona, overtime loss against Montreal, and then a embarrassing loss on national TV to Colorado, which was just
Yeah.
last night. But
In a game that I
all in
turned
all,
off. I turned it off after the first period.
well, it was late too. I did make it through two periods, but I ended up falling asleep on my living room floor like right after that, which is probably going to be so much more comfortable now that I got this vacuum. So let's go. But anyways, 2-1-1 since we spoke last. 5 out of 8 points, not bad. If you remember last show, we actually both predicted no points.
I know. It's such a this team is just such a weird dichotomy because like I get it, like playoffs are probably like a long shot at this point. I mean, the only thing really saving us is a stretch that I want to talk about from like after Christmas until like the middle of January. But man, it's so weird how like they can play so amazing and then falter. I don't understand.
Yeah, so I mean, getting 5 out of 8 points is good, but you really need to go on more of a run. I think part of us saying 0 points last week was part emotional, but also part of like we were just like, well, this is what we do. We go on one big skid every year.
Yep, yeah. I thought it was gonna be 10. I thought we were gonna lose 10 in a row.
The thing I'm struggling with this year though with this team is that I don't know where you're at, but my confidence in them, they need to go on a run. Like they need to, and it needs to be like a pretty special run. Like I have zero confidence in that. Like when they were losing last year, they still started off the season hot last year. They were like 7-3. They were playing good hockey, and you saw spurts, and they were scoring. And even when they were losing those games, they were still scoring goals. They just couldn't play
Yep.
defense, and they weren't getting goaltending. But like this year, it's like, man, it's like we're just not scoring, and it just looks out of sync. We're getting off to these slow starts. It looks unorganized. I do not have confidence right now, or I should say, my confidence is very low on us actually being able to go on the run that we need.
Yeah, I mean, a run is required of us winning probably like even if they ripped off a 10 game win streak, I still wouldn't feel confident about them making the playoffs because they've dug themselves in such a huge hole here. Like, yeah, they took 5 from 8, but they really it sounds weird because it's like an on pace thing, but in my opinion, they really needed like 7 of 8 to really make me feel like, okay, this is good. But and it's just the way that they play. Like the way they play just pisses me off, really. I mean, we could start with Boston, which was great. I mean, Boston was good. They finally played a full 60-minute effort.
Yep.
It was signs of life. I mean, Paterka scores again, Tage scores, Olafson scores, and it's like here we go. We're gonna turn it around here. We're getting like a little bit healthier too, and that was just so short lived, man. What'd
Yeah,
you feel
they
about
they
Boston?
they did play good in this game, and they needed it. They were on that 4 game skid. They absolutely needed to stop the bleeding, and it was a good game. I mean, Paterka had a nice goal, which was like the 3 goals in this game were like that's what kind of got me excited about this game is that like it the goals that we scored, they weren't like fluke goals. Like Paterka had a nice snipe, and he's been just like sniping all season, so he's just been playing great. But he had a nice top. I think it was either top shelf or just went like over right on the left side of the goalie. But right off the faceoff from Dylan Cousins, Tage had a classic one timer from Clifton. Vic had a nice shot on 2-1. So like they had good shots, and they like their scorers scored, which was great, and they got a great. So this was all. Devin Levi also came back in this game, and he played great. So like you got good goaltending. You went into Boston, let alone in one, which is something that we don't do ever. Like
Yeah,
they've only beaten Boston like 3 times out of the last like 25 games. So it was it felt good because it stopped the bleeding. They got a win against a quality opponent in their stadium and or in their arena, but you also felt like it was like, hey, this is what we can do. Like this is what we can do when we put it all together. We did it, and we look like the team from last year. But then it just kind of goes away after that.
yeah. I mean, it was really nice to see the team play that way. I mean, I feel like they were the better team in this game, and it's so funny because after they won, I got multiple texts from people being like, "Oh, you guys trash the team. Every time you trash the team, they go out and they win." And I'm like, "Well, okay, pump the brakes here." Because they'll go out and win and then they'll go out and lose their next game. Like they can't string two or more wins together. Like it's impossible. And lo and behold, they they play Montreal the next game, and what do you know? They lose. They make a goaltender that has had minimal NHL appearances in Caden Primo. Like, yeah, he might be like a decent goalie at some point, but we made the guy look like a fucking Vezina play, like the Vezina winner. Like we had 49 shots on goal in this game and could not solve him. Like we could not put the puck in the back of the net, and that leads to the frustration where it's like even when we play well, we can't be dropping these games. We cannot.
This was another one of those games where we didn't necessarily go down early because it was 0-0 after the first, but we still got in a 2-0 hole in the second period. So we needed
Yep.
that third period comeback. There were boos coming down after the first period, after the second intermission, after the first intermission. And
And that, dude,
again, it,
that happens so nothing. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no, go
that
ahead.
happens so frequently, and it's like the team has said, on multiple occasions in the media that like, oh, the booze pissed us off, so we had wanted to come out playing in the third. I think Oposo might have said it after the Pittsburgh game last week or 2 weeks ago, maybe now. And it's like you guys need to get fucking booed at home to like play well. Like, what is up with that? Like, I feel like it happens far too much. I don't get it.
Well, in the way that they're going with this win loss, it's like, what did it piss you off for 20 minutes? And then
Right,
like
right, right.
not anymore because like you didn't carry that over into the next game. Like you just I mean, we posted from our Twitter account like the actual like win loss. There's been one time this year where they won 2 games in a row, a win streak of 2, and then it immediately ended. There's been I want to say 4 or 5 losing streaks of like two
Yep.
games, and then it's just
And then the
win
four
loss.
gamer.
Like it's almost like I, I mean, I got to start putting money on it honestly because it's almost like a guaranteed thing now that it's just going to be win loss. I don't understand how they can't get up for these games, and this was frustrating because again, I know we outshot them, and the power play is really what probably cost us this game, going 0 for
Once
5.
again. Once
Yeah, once
again.
again, but like you got to figure it out. Like you can't. This is a game you had to have against Montreal when you, especially coming off of that win. You just lost 4 in a row. Let's go on a streak, and you
You
get into
beat
overtime.
Boston. You beat Boston handily.
Yeah,
Like Montreal was a team you should have bounced on. like early and then and often, and they're just so inconsistent. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and you get it to overtime, but like you get it to overtime is like something you say like when you play Boston, like not when you play
Yeah, right.
Montreal. Like if
Like
anything, I would have rather got it to overtime against Boston and just like beat the shit out of Montreal at home like we're supposed to do.
yeah, like there'll be times like with 4 minutes left or like and the score's tied against a good team and I'm like, all right, just get a point and I'm happy. I don't care. Like that doesn't happen with against a team like Montreal that at this current moment, Micah McCurdy on Twitter, he does like uh analytics like and playoff projections like every 2 weeks. At this current moment, he has the Sabres at a 4.7% chance to make the playoffs and Montreal at a 5.3% chance to make the playoffs. That's how bad it's gotten around here. Montreal has a better statistical chance from like the chart boys for us to go to the playoffs or for them to go to the playoffs over us. Like it's not fun. I have not had fun really a single time this season.
Yeah, I mean 4.7%,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
over. It's
crazy. I
over. Like
mean,
I'll be honest, I think it's over.
well, the thing is I let's before I make this point, we'll close out this game real quick. So Levi started again, so he gets back to
Yeah,
back
good for
starts. I
Devin.
mean, Levi, I mean, yeah, Levi was insane against Boston. He was 31 for 32. He had a 969 save percentage, and in this game again, 29 for 31, had a 935 save percentage. Like, I mean, people are blaming him for the loss in the shootout because he let in three in a row, but like he really faced some great skaters,
Yeah,
Caulfield,
it's
Lennon,
insane.
and Slavkovsky. I mean,
It's
they
insane. Jesse Ylönen is like I don't he really won't be really like a player, like a household name, but he's like 90% in the shootout. So like it's weird like some of these guys just have like innate shootout ability and like it would have been
like
nice
Owen
for us
Power.
to yeah, what the fuck is up with that? Like it's so weird. But it sucks we lost in the shootout, but man, we really should have put it away in regulation.
Yo, Power's move. And by the way, did you notice this? Power's move in that shootout was the same one that he did before. Like he kind
A
of
lot of
he
guys do
comes
that.
in, yeah, he comes in from that right side and then just kind of like slowly goes over and just kind of looks for his spot. But he picks. I mean, he's picked it right both times. So
It's weird. It's so weird how like, some guys will just have like a move and stick to it. You remember back in like well, let's see, like, Kuznetsov and Kane do that bullshit move where they skate in all slow and then like, they go like 0.02 miles per hour and
yeah,
score. And then like you remember for the Sabres back in like, the fun years when last time we had fun. Remember Alesh Kotelik? He would just come in on the shootout and go backhand and score every single time. It's just so odd, man, how some of these guys are just like there was a guy, Eric Christensen, he had like a long career with like the Rangers and like the Thrashers and stuff. He was like, I might be like blowing smoke up your ass, but it really felt like he was like 70% in the shootout. It was crazy. Some guys are just so good at it.
I don't remember the exact move from Kotor League, but here's the I want to like. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with jersey numbers, and for some reason, I feel like I always remember Aleshko Leaks. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but like, was he number 12?
Yes, he was. That was good.
Dude,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm a little better with hockey numbers than football numbers, and I didn't look this up. I swear to God to the listeners. But I'm like, for some reason, like Alesh Kotalik's like jersey, like name is just like burned in my head. I don't know why.
Such a strange player for that to happen, but it's so funny.
All right, but going back to our original point, there we were talking. We were talking about the 4.7% chance. Like, why I think that is realistic and an unfortunate scenario for the Sabres to be in is we are for the optimists out there, and I as pessimistically we talk on this show, it's driven by the play. Like we're not by nature, me and you are not pessimistic, but like if you
No,
are optimistic,
I'm a homer. I'm as much of
right,
a homer as they come.
right, but like and like if you are optimistic, like watching this team play right now, like dude, I need you as a friend because I need more of that in my life, honestly. So like, just like DM me and like we'll go out to lunch sometime. Like it's like I want to make that happen, but
Especially
it's
around the
just for
holidays when seasonal depression is a thing. Please, yeah, come cheer me up.
that's what I'm saying. Like I need you optimists out there. Like just DM us on Twitter. We'll all three of us. We'll go out. We'll have a chat. You know, Saber Spotlight and the boys and whatever. But I'm just like so back to what my original point here. Like the optimists will say, if you look at the standings right now, we're 4 points out of a wild card spot, which is absolutely crazy. But we've played 30 games. A lot of the teams that are ahead of us have a couple games in hand. And just think about it this way: Ottawa, which is nuts. We talked about this last week. How has Ottawa only played 23 games? But like whatever. So Ottawa has 7 games in hand on us, and
It's
they're
weird.
only 5
It,
points behind us. Like they're
it's
they're
wow.
technically ahead of they could technically be ahead of us. We're pretty much tied with them and Columbus for last in the division. So you could say, okay, we're 4 points out of the playoffs right now, but think about how many teams you actually have to pass to get there. Like, sure, it's only 4 points, but like, do you think all these teams that are currently ahead of us are just all going to be mediocre for the rest of the season? No, like some are going to go on runs, and if a few of these teams go on runs, that's all the Sabres need. Your run has to be better than theirs, and if it's not because you dug a hole, like Stanley Yelnats, like we said on Twitter,
Right.
then it's too late already.
Well, I guess we can bring it up now since we're going to let's actually I want to make this point after we get to the game. So let's get to the games first.
Will we get into Arizona?
Yeah, we can do that. This was fun. I mean, this was great. This was great. I enjoyed this.
This was the game that the fourth line just went off. So we had goals from all three, Oposo, Krebs, and Robinson. 2 assists from Oposo, 2 assists from Robinson. So the fourth line just really decided that they were going to take on Arizona all by themselves. Dahlin scores an empty netter for his 7th of the year, and Paterka gets another goal. And that was just a hustle goal, kind of banked it in off the goalie, but stayed with the play. So, I mean, he's getting rewarded for all of his hard work. Paterka is doing good. So, yeah, I mean, Levi was good in net, 21 and 23, 913 save percentage. We still go 0 for 2 on the power play, but the penalty kill goes 3 for 3. Outshot Arizona 38-23. This was a game where we jumped out to a lead and we held it, and yeah, it was a fun game for sure.
I got to give a lot of credit to Kyle Oposo because in the last, like, I want to say at least 2 weeks, Kyle Oposo is talking the talk in the media and walking the walk. He's been really, really good. And I feel like the addition of Eric Robinson has kind of like helped Peyton Krebs a little bit because I feel like Krebs has some untapped offensive ability and playing with a guy that, not that's not Zemgus Girgensons and, a rejuvenated Oposo kind of brings it out a little bit more in him. And I feel like this is the only they're the only guys that are really like stepping up almost every game recently.
I mean, did
So
you see Krebs rifle that shot in like
yeah,
46
I was
miles an
like,
hour?
did I was like, it's so funny because like Peyton Krebs, I never picture him just like beating a goalie clean like that, and he did. So good for him. Good for him.
It was
But
so fucking slow though.
it was awful. Like you see a lot of guys rip like a 99 mile an hour, like little snapper, and his was a freaking muffin.
That's where the advanced statistics or the analytics didn't work in his favor, I guess.
Yeah, XG doesn't really factor in like speed of shot.
No, not that. What's the service that they've just put out that shows all that
Oh,
shit?
the NHL Edge, the new
Yeah,
NHL
NHL
Edge
Edge
stuff with
didn't
like the
do him any
speed.
favors on the
Like, yeah.
goal.
They should have lied and said it was like 96 miles an hour.
So they get a good win against Arizona. You got anything else you want to say about this one?
It was nice to beat Arizona. They recently still they had a weird scheduling quirk where they played 5 games in a row against the previous 5 Stanley Cup champions. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
And
they beat them all, right?
they beat them all, and then they dropped a couple, and then they came to us and lost the game. So they were on like a bit of a hot skid, then a slide, and then we kind of pumped them, and it was good to see the team take advantage of a team that I feel like they should take advantage of.
Maybe they should have beat us because it would have been predicting the next Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah,
But then
if
it
we
it is
win,
fitting that
I'm
we
saying
win
this,
because that's not happening.
clip this, and save it for the future. But if we win the Stanley Cup in the next 2 seasons, I will eat a full rubber shoe.
That's the bet. I thought you were
I
gonna say
no,
like I'll shit
even
my head.
better, even better. Yeah, it's already there, bud. Even better, I'll eat a rubber shoe. I'll eat a leather shoe. Sorry, a leather shoe right after I work, so it's covered in fucking mud and whatever the hell else I'm stepping in outside. I'll eat it. I will deep fry it and eat it.
You're that confident. You are that confident.
It's not happening. This team is that they gotta even sniff playoffs first.
I mean, everything deep fried is pretty good, so you might actually be onto something there.
Deep fried shoe. Uh, but man, after this game, we were feeling okay. We were like, all right, they played three really really good games in a row, and then it's saved for the first Sabres after dark of the season. We're excited. We're the second game on national TV on TNT. I like hearing what those guys have to say. And man, the Sabres just it was EJ's first return to Colorado too, and part of me feels like he was like too emotional to play. He was so bad. He was so bad that I think he forgot what jersey he played for.
Yeah, you
The,
see my
the
note in the show doc there.
no, I didn't actually.
I
Let me
said
see.
Eric Johnson plays one last game for Colorado.
-2. I love it. Well, there was one where he had the puck at the blue line. Why is Eric Johnson trying to fucking toe drag people? Like what are you, dude, what are you doing? Just put a nice shot on goal or just dump it in the corner. He's trying to toe drag a motherfucker at the blue line and they go down and make UPL look like he never attended goal in his life, and it's like, man, what are we doing here? So,
What he's trying to show Colorado what they're missing.
yeah, I mean, he'd put up points like that for them if he played undercover every game like that. Jesus Christ. But they were terrible in this game. I mean, I they were terrible. They're
I mean, they were
what else?
down 3-0 after the first 12 minutes.
What do you even say? They didn't even have a shot. The shots were 10 zip.
Their first
Colorado,
shot on goal came with I think like a minute and a half left in the period.
and it was either Benson's goal or it was the rebound off for Benson's goal. Like that's how bad it was. And then to be fair to the Sabres, they did rip off the next 17 shots in a row, but they didn't score. Like the shots weren't all that dangerous. Tuck hit the post on the power play immediately after the second period. And then, I feel like since they didn't score after that massive flurry, like credit to the team for having that massive flurry. But once they didn't score and then Colorado scored, it was like, okay, well, even our best effort, it's over for this one. And that was like the second period.
Yeah, this was a tough one to watch, and whatever UPL had, his sickness. I mean, it must have been contagious because we're all sick now for having watched him play in this game because it was
Oh my
absolutely
God.
brutal.
Holy. The Rantanen goal was disgraceful. I mean, uh, anytime there's a 2-on-2 with McKinnon and Rantanen, two of the best players in the league, McKinnon drops the puck to Rantanen. In my opinion, interferes with Connor Clifton, and then UPL. What's up with UPL? And
No,
I'm
wasn't
gonna
it
say it
Skinner?
again. No,
Was it Clifton
uh,
or was it Skinner?
Skinner
Oh,
on defense on the goal. Not when Skinner got absolutely labeled.
yeah. Okay, so
So
it was okay.
Rantanen takes the puck, and then once again UPL is traveling to fucking Mars in the corner, and Rantanen just puts it into the open net, and that was like a precursor for what was to come for the game.
Dude, you like your planet analogies.
I do. I'm a planet guy. I like it a lot. Like,
You
what
had
else am I
you
gonna say?
you had Jupiter in there a few
Yeah,
days ago.
I
Today
I
we got
I
Mars.
almost said Jupiter again, but I wanted to mix it up here.
Well, you adapt accordingly to
Of
what
course.
what you're talking about to what planet makes most sense as far as
Right.
that goes.
Yeah. Honestly, I adapt better than Don Granato.
So one thing, like it's these like games that are nationally televised. It's like I feel like I take a quote from it like each time. So like we had the game on Hulu and ESPN Plus that I guess was something like they classified as national, and that was when I think it was Butchergross who had it, or whoever was on the call was like, that's the one where Detroit where they were like, oh, it's men amongst boys tonight, and I was
Yep.
like, oh, that was fucking brutal. And then
Yep.
this one when in the what's his name, the was it the Lundqvist in the
Lundqvist.
in yeah
Lundqvist.
Lundqvist in the intermission was basically saying, I know you saw it, that they were playing like they were in a tank but they're not, and just like the mistakes that they're making and how we're just accepting them for 30 games into the season. Now it's the same
Yep.
shit on replay. It's like we're just getting roasted in the fucking national media, and like I don't really care about that shit honestly, but like
I do. I care. I do. I do.
that shit doesn't bother me as much because like at the end of the day it's like it doesn't matter what these people think, like, but it just goes to show you, like, I don't know, I tell you each game that I think these other teams are just straight up laughing at us. Like it seems like there's the promise they had last year right now, it's just gone right now because they're just playing so bad. Teams can push them
It's gone.
around and they're just playing bad hockey right now.
Well, I kind of like I take what those play, like, especially Henrik Lundqvist, who's going to go into the Hall of Fame. Or did he already get inducted in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um, but for him to say that like they're playing like they're in a tank or like they're playing like they're in a rebuild, and the thing that he said that really, we've been that resonated with me was he said that, you know, they're accepting this. And it's been this way under Don for 2 years now, and under Kevin Adams for, 3 years, how long, however long he's been. This team just, whatever happens, they just accept it. Like they don't push the envelope, and if something happens to them, they kind of just shrug their shoulders and say, well, oh well. And part of me feels like, I had a tweet because people were like trying to be like, oh, what's wrong with the Sabres? Can we like figure this out? And I had it in one of my replies, and I said, there's no way to quantify this, but to me it feels like there's no organizational responsibility or pressure. We're a small market team that's missed the playoffs for over a decade. No one gives a fuck about us besides us, and the people in charge are constantly just putting their hands up. Doesn't that seem like the way that we're going right now? Like we're 30 games in, we're a disaster. We create offense with the worst teams in the league, and it feels like we're going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a ton last show, and just like how it seems like there's no organizational accountability. I mean, even like again, we did play better this last weekend. We'll summarize that in a second, but like even like in this Colorado game, for example, it just seemed like they were they were nervous to play. Like there was that whole like sequence with Darlene like earlier where like
Oh man,
he takes it behind the net, or he like loses it right in front of our net, and then he regains it, and then he like trips over the
he
ice.
falls. Yeah,
He falls. Yeah.
Darlene has not played well. Like it's like we need guys like him to be like dominant. Look at Quinn Hughes. Look at, I
Yeah.
know he was hurt for a little bit, but look at Adam Fox. Look at Moritz Seider in Detroit. Look at any young defensemen are carrying play every time they step out on the ice, and he just like fumble fucks the puck so many times. Between him and Power, I don't know who's fumble fucking it more. I feel like Power's been playing better than him recently.
Yeah, it's just, and that's what makes me question the accountability and leadership, because I get it. These guys, they're playing with expectations for the first time, but like let's be real, like the expectations is not Lord Stanley. Like the expectations are like to make it to the fucking playoffs, which like 50% of the teams do. So like it's not like you have
Dude,
this mega pressure on you. You're not in fucking New York, you're not in Toronto. Like it, as much as we love our hockey, like okay, every other fan base loves their hockey team besides like
right,
Florida.
right.
But like okay, like so that's what I'm saying. Like you're making all this money, that's sure, but like use this season as a season where you're learning to play with these expectations while they're not that high. Because if you, they're only going to go up. Like the expectations are only going to go up as this team hopefully gets better and better. So like,
Well,
I don't know. To me, it's like this is the perfect
to go with
season.
your
Go ahead.
to go, to go with your to go with your expectations. My hopeful expectations is like 95 points and getting blown out 4-0 in the first round of the playoffs. Like I would take
Yeah,
that. I'd be so happy with that.
that's what I'm saying. Like there isn't mega expectations, and Buffalo loves their hockey, yes, but like we're not this mega market. Like these guys aren't being grilled and like in the press 24/7. Like imagine these players on these teams, like
Toronto
they would
on
shrivel.
Toronto
I mean, they
on
would
Toronto.
shrivel. Like you need the leadership, and I think whether it's leadership in the players, which I think it has to be. I think Posto is doing a great job, but if other guys and younger guys need to step up in that room, then so be it. Like the goals, if they're gonna come, they're gonna come. But like you can't need goals to gain confidence, like because goals are ultimately at the end of the day are very hard to score in the NHL. So if you need to be putting up counting stats to stay confident, then that's a problem. As a player, you need to be able to work through that, and also like your coaches and your coaching staff needs to be able to identify these weaknesses in players and be able to pull them out of that. I mean, we talked last year or last podcast how Powers kind of looked like a shell of himself too. It's like they need to figure it out. They need to improve their communication or whatever it is to get this thing headed in the right direction. So
Well, the thing that's really sunk our season so far, like the two things that I feel have contribute. Well, let's say three. The three things that have contributed the most to sinking our season is number one, the slow starts. You cannot go into almost every game you play spotting the team two or three goals. You are not going to win that way. The second thing is the power play. Oh my God, the power play. What did you say we were before we started? Are we 30th?
So on Hockey Reference, it doesn't list what it is, but it just, I mean, it tells us, it says that we're 13% on the power play, and the league average is 20. So I mean, we're
Jesus.
in that probably bottom
Bottom tier.
10%.
Bottom tier. I'm pretty sure if I looked right now, the only teams worse would probably be like Pittsburgh and then like I don't know, some other shit team like the fucking Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah,
But and the third thing, and it's not getting solved now, although I would welcome this, is coaching. The assistant coaches specifically.
yeah,
Don, whatever, dude. Like he's here. I don't think he's getting fired. I actually like Don Granato. I like what he said recently. I sent you like a little thing that he said, and I thought it was really nice. But I don't think it's specifically him. His assistants are just terrible. And if you have to change the assistants by changing the head coach, oh well, man. I mean, he's like right now he's the ninth longest tenured head coach in the league.
yeah,
NHL coaches are a little bit different than football coaches or any other sport. Like NHL coaches get churned very frequently. And the fact that we've stuck by this guy through like this period, like yeah, last year was fun, but like the theme this year was like, can this guy coach defense? Can this guy coach defense and also like keep the same offense? And right now it's looking like it's no. So I don't know what they do from here because I don't think the power play is changing because I don't think the coaches are changing anything.
yeah.
Like they're just not at this point. They're kind of just set in their ways, and we got a guy like Matt Ellis coaching the friggin' power play. Like it just brings me so much. It just brings me down, like knowing that I don't think that it gets turned around and we got to deal with this for another 50 games.
Yeah, it's an interesting point that you raise about the assistant coaches like needing change because, I went on a rant last at the end of last episode that I want Don Granato fired, and this is it's not, and my viewpoint hasn't changed. Like I'm gonna stick to that.
Yeah, I
It's
support that
not
too.
it's not personal. Obviously, I actually think Don Granato is. I mean, he's clearly a very bright hockey mind. I question just his ability to kind of, well, like exactly what we talked about last time, do the Rob Brindamore thing, or just get intense and kind of fire these guys up and hold guys accountable. I mean, I think it's sitting EJ and playing Ryan Johnson more at the
Yeah,
end
I
of the
can't.
day.
I can't. We didn't even talk about this in the game. I cannot believe that they sat Ryan Johnson. I cannot believe that and I get it. You're playing Eric Johnson because that's his return to Colorado, but you could have sat Connor Clifton. Like,
Right.
come on, guys. They
Yeah.
got one. They got what, one or two games out of our ideal top four, like what we talked about. That it was like Darlene, Joker, Power, like Ryan Johnson. They were fantastic for 2 games, and then they go away from it. Why?
But that's what I'm
That's a Don
saying. Like
thing.
that's what I don't think Don will do. Like, I mean, we're like floating on like the smallest playoff percentage now. How many guys have actually been healthy scratch like this season? Like it hasn't happened. And I'm not
He,
saying you need to punish guys left and right, but that's the thing. And I've talked about how I haven't seen Don's, like, he hasn't changed his communication or his messaging in the media. It's just been the same kind of spiel over and over again. And like, I saw it once. I saw it one time after the Boston game. They won, and he finally showed a little bit of like grit afterwards. And he was like real short with the answers, and just like, "Yeah, we competed, and we know we can play like this." It was actually like, I'm like, this is what I want to see more from him. But I just don't know if he can get us over the edge. And I want to go back to what you said about the assistant head coaches, because it kind of, that is a big thing. I think, like, if Don's not going to go, there needs to be some changes around him for sure. It reminds me of like the PP and the Sabres and the coaches, reminds me of like the Bills. It's like Dorsey's gone, the offense, the personnel is exactly the same. And it's not like the offense is scoring more points, but it looks better. It's
right.
definitely more organized. It's definitely different. And Sean McDermott's still coaching, but everyone would say that the Bills offense is a better functioning machine now than it was before. That's the same thing here. Like maybe it's just okay, you know what? The power play is almost dead last in the league. We have the same fucking players. Like something has to change, and maybe it has to be just a different person coming in here to switch things up and freshen it.
Right.
And it's just move this guy here, move this guy here. Subtle tweaks that can maybe make a big difference. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the last game, I feel like the Colorado game, they finally like did a little bit of different things in the power play. Like they had Tage on his strong side and, catching the puck and taking a and like just utilizing the goal line more. So I know that they have it in them to change, but I don't think they do it long term. I think they change and then it doesn't work. It looks good, but it doesn't work, and then they panic and go back to what they know how to do, and that's not going to work too because teams have figured it out.
When our 5-on-5 scoring is down, the power play has to go. Think about okay, if I asked you this straight up, how many games? Because we just said we essentially lost the Montreal game because of the power play. We were 0 for 5. So if I was going to ask you straight up, how many games do you think we've lost this year because of the power play alone? What would you say?
20.
Dude, no way. It's not that high.
I don't
There's
know.
no way it's that high.
I was just fucking around. No, I'd probably say at least probably like 7 or 8. Like there are
Okay.
probably like seven, like maybe 7 or 8 times where it's like, man, if we didn't go 1 for 4 in the power play and we went 2 for 4, maybe we could have nicked a point here or there, like something
Right.
like that.
Okay, so that's exactly my point. Okay, so let's say because I would have said like maybe 5 to 7 and you're 7 8. So let's agree on maybe 7. And
Plenty.
let's say we don't let's say we don't win all those games, but maybe we just force overtime in a few of them. So we'll say if the
And then it's
power
three on
plays
three, and then anything can happen.
okay, well, all right, well, let me finish my thought here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting overzealous. I'm getting overzealous today. I'm fired
so
up.
so in that 7 game sample that we just created, let's say we go with that line of thinking, we go 4 0 and 3. That's 11 points. That's 11 more points than we have right now. We're 38 points. We're 1 point out of the number one, or we're the lead wild card by 4 points. Like the
Yeah.
power play is the biggest problem right now, and it needs to be addressed, whether it's coaching or whatever. Like you said, I feel like I'm banging my head against a wall, thinking that something actually is going to change on the ice with just the players alone. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, here's something that just popped into my head that's, concerning the regular team as it is, and the power play specifically. But we got to talk about Jeff Skinner's injury. So Jeff Skinner got ran over by the 18 wheeler that is Nathan McKinnon, and he is out. He's on injured reserve. Who knows how long he's gone for? But we have argued for a long time, and I know so many people have argued for a long time that Jeff Skinner is single-handedly killing the Sabres power play. So I'll be curious to see if they do anything or if it changes or looks more functional without him. Because as good as he is at 5-on-5, he's equally as bad on the power play.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I mean, at this point, like whatever needs to be done to change it. I mean, I would agree. I mean, he's a fucking statue on the power play as a lot of our guys are. But I mean, honestly, Skinner's game, like I know he gets a lot of like 5-on-5 points, but like
He hasn't impressed me.
he's an opportunistic scorer, dude. Like I've been quite frustrated with him this year. Like, dude, his passing is abysmal. Like he will make a good pass every once in a while, but like otherwise, like he tries some crazy ass passes that like have 0% chance of being like it's like in like FIFA, you're just tapping the X button and just hoping for like a long lob to work out. It's not gonna work. Like he throws up some straight up prayers. So I honestly think like whatever line he's gone from right now, like depending on what's inserted and what Donnie does, like zone entries might be better. I don't know. I haven't been super impressed with Skinner, and I know he scores a lot, and he has scored a lot for the Sabres. Which okay, like thanks for that, but it's a lot of opportunistic scoring. It's
Well,
so we'll see what happens.
Dude, even with Skinner, I think I saw last week. I don't remember. I would give credit, but I don't remember who posted it. But someone was showing a chart of Skinner like showing his 5-on-5 like goal percentage and like defensive game, and the chart was so bad in the wrong way. Like the chart was so bad going down for like tracking how his defensive metrics are that the was whoever was organizing the chart had to make his defensive play a whole standard deviation like bigger than the normal chart because his defensive play was so poor.
Yeah, I honestly, like I said, I mean Skinner's a fine player, but I've been quite. We haven't really talked about him on this
Yeah, he
podcast.
flies. He flies under the radar.
What's crazy though is like we bitch about guys like every week. We're like bringing up this guy, this guy, this guy. It's like, is there anybody on this team that's just fucking playing good hockey?
Dude, there's one. No, well, no. Turco was on my shit list because he gave the puck away against Colorado and he just played horrible. But there was one
Dude, hang
player on
on,
our
hang on.
team,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You take a guess at the score in this football game right now.
42-0.
Wait, do you actually know the score?
No, is it really 42-0?
Dude, 49-0.
Oh my God.
Here's even better. The second half just started 5 minutes ago.
No fucking way. The Raiders are winning 49-0?
Oh my god, that is insane.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. If we, you know what would be the most sidetrack? You know what would be the most Billsy thing possible?
Oh, we lose to the Chargers for sure.
No, we beat the Cowboys. We we beat the Cowboys on Sunday, and then we lose to the Chargers, who are down. Let me repeat this: 49-0 in the third quarter.
That is insane. I actually want to see how high that game can go. That is crazy.
Whoever picked, I wonder how Zamir White is doing. Whoever picked up Zamir White in fantasy, I wonder if like you're very happy right now.
Why was Josh Jacobs not playing?
No, he's not. He's out.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check and see how many points he has real
Demir White
quick.
only has 15 points, but I mean that's
But
still
still, fucking 15 points from Zamir. Okay, but come on.
that's crazy, man.
What were
All
I
right,
forgot
would you?
that
I
I
don't know
got
if you
sidetracked. Oh,
even remember.
we were bitching about Skinner, and we were saying one player. We have one player that's consistently good. Can you name the one player that's consistently good?
Oh yeah, the Carney boy.
Yeah, Zachary, goddamn Benson, man. The 18-year-old. Again, the 18-year-old is consistently our best player at both ends of the rink. It's both like extremely sad and also like super exciting in my opinion.
For Benson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he's playing really good, and like he's starting to get some points now too. He's scored. I think he's got 3 goals. He's up to like 5 assists. Like it'll be interesting to see how he grows throughout the year. The I mean the Calder is going to go to Bedard. Bedard is like playing just like so great and just looks so good. But like I mean Benson could get some points for sure
Yeah,
or some votes.
especially if he's going to play on the top line with Thompson and Tuck now.
Okay, so that's something I want to talk about. Like, I want to see that just all the time. Like, if this season is not like going to go anywhere, and we're a few weeks away from that possibly being a harsh reality, like I just want to see Benson play as much as I can. Can we even call? We can't even call Savoy up, right? Like he's down there for a
No,
year, right?
we'd have to wait until his season's over, and then even then he'll probably just go to Rochester anyway.
Yeah. So like that's another thing that they fucked up, but like whatever. So yeah, it's I'm excited. Like Benson's exciting for sure, and yeah, I lost my. I had something I was gonna say. I had like a fucking great point, and I totally just lost it.
You'll
With
remember it. You remember it. You're a goat.
All right. Well, anything else we want to get into here, as far as like Sabres
No,
discussion go?
I guess we can. It sucks talking about this team because I love them so much, but they just make me sad.
All right. Well, let's talk. Do you want to talk a little bit about Eric Robinson?
Uh, he's fine. What is there really to talk about? He plays hard.
I mean, he's fast. He goes to the net, and
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
one. He's our second forward that goes to the net.
we didn't get we didn't get an update news on Gergenson's injury, did we? Did they say how long he's going to be?
No,
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. If we got news on Skinner too, like how long that's going to be.
nothing on him, on Greenway, or on Gergensons.
Yeah. All right. Well, We'll
I
see
do
what
like
happens
Eric
with him.
Robinson's game though. Good fourth liner. I hope he sticks around. But I hope they don't make the mistake they did with Tyson Jost and give a guy that should be making like 900K 2 million.
Yeah, what's he making this year, Joe? Is he making 2 mil?
2 million, 2.1, I think. It's absurd.
Yeah, 2 million. I'm on cap friendly right now. Yeah, two
We're like a
million.
fucking charity house.
That's crazy. And isn't what's Eric Johnson's making 2.5, right? Oh my god, Eric
Unbelievable.
Johnson's making 3.2.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude. We are. It's unbelievable.
All right, I do want to talk about Jack Quinn for a little bit here because I
Okay.
think so. I have I'm I'm kind of torn because you know what, dude, no. Before I get into that, this is what I wanted to say
Oh, you got it. See, I do remember.
because I think it's kind of a funny joke too. So I definitely want to get it out. So we were talking about who's playing good, and you mentioned Benson for
Yeah.
sure. I is he the only one? He might actually be the only one. I mean, like whatever. But like I was just like a couple shows ago, I was just like giving Ukapeka Lakaman a lot of praise, and like now he's just like been told. I know he was sick, whatever, but he's like been dog shit and stuff. So like he's officially changed from Ukapeka Lakaman to Ukapeka Lakam up. Just put that man in with the fucking sticks and pucks, and just lock him in the equipment room, and just keep Levi out there. I don't care.
I was gonna call him Ukapeka let in a lot of goals.
I mean, that's a good one too. Anything goes. If you're
Yeah.
listening and you have some nicknames for UPL, just send them in, or anybody really. If you want us to, throw anything on the show, just let us know. But I do want to try and get a little positive here because I'm curious to know if you think so. Jack Quinn, he's skating with the team now. He had surgery back on June 28th. So typically with Achilles, you're looking at 6 months, like 4 to 6 months, to get back into sports. So his 6 month date was yesterday on the 13th. So
Right.
he's now 6 months out from surgery. Again, I'm not there, so I don't know what he's doing training wise, but typically you're like he's probably been doing plyometrics like jumping exercises and things and like explosive type movements for a couple months now. Like he's probably been working on that stuff for like 8 weeks, more explosive stuff for like the last 4 weeks, and he's clearly been skating. What is before I get into the other point I was going to make, as far as the Achilles go, I never played hockey, but I'm thinking you're in a skate. I'm sure the Achilles obviously plays a role, but I would think that most of the stride is actually like driven through the hips and the core, like pushing off from the ice. Is that a correct
Right.
statement?
Yeah, I'd say so. But I would also say that like the Achilles was like as recent, as maybe like 5, 10 years ago, was kind of like a career ender. But over time, like technology, like medical science gets a lot better. So it's he's coming back.
Yeah, so it's scary for sure, but I and everything obviously the whole chain's going to work together from the ice all the way up, so that Achilles is certainly taking force. But like I said, he should probably have been working through some stuff for these last couple months, and he's going through drills and things. So they're going through their assessments, their reassessments, and making sure he's ready to go. We don't have anything definitive on him yet, but hopefully he's close to coming back, and they need somewhat of a boost. But what is your confidence level if Quinn comes back and plays just like decent? Again, we can't expect the world right away, but if Quinn comes back and we get Greenway back sometime soon. I don't know if we know what's going on with him either right now. Was that an injury as well for
Yeah, I
Greenway?
I think so. I'm not really sure. I think it's injury.
So if in a week or two we get both of them back, I don't know. What's your confidence level with them being able to turn things around? I mean, it might already be too late, but where are we sitting there?
Part of me thinks it's too little, too late. But having those two guys back in the lineup should be exciting. And like you said, we can't really expect too much of Jack Quinn, but it will be just really nice to see him back in the lineup. And if he does show like explosiveness like early on, then I'll start to get really excited for what he can bring to the team because man, we are missing out on him. I think he's really a good player. Like as good as Paterka has been this year, I think Jack Quinn could be like better than him.
Yeah, and I mean if he can come back and help elevate Cousins games too, I mean it's
That guy is fucking lost.
yeah, there could be some ripples there. So I hope so. But all right, yeah, I'm I'm a little bit lukewarm on that just because I'm more on leaning on the side of caution with Quinn coming back, and I don't know if they're gonna do a rehab stint or not, or if he's just gonna go kind of right into the lineup and play, and I'm sure they're gonna ramp his minutes up anyways. So it's gonna be
The
one of those
Sabres
things.
keep posting him on socials like a lot.
Yeah,
They're posting like practice stuff, like little highlights here and there. So I think he's close to returning.
yeah, I would agree, and we don't really know what's going on with Greenway, but I never got the inclination that it was anything like serious injury wise. So hopefully he can come back. So if they come back at the same time, I mean, Tuck is back now. Obviously, Skinner just went down, but we talked about how maybe that could actually help and force a change. So we'll see. I'm just trying to
Yep.
work around any way that I can get
To
some
be
optimism
positive.
here.
Well, we can be done with the Sabres and talk about the league after I make this one point, just to go with your positivity rant here. So, have you looked at the Sabres schedule for the entire month of January?
I've seen some tweets on it, but
So,
I'll let you go ahead and read it.
from from December, I know this is a very arbitrary time, but from December 30th to January 27th, I'm going to read off the teams that we play, and I want you to tell me how many teams you think we can beat in this group, okay? Even we're playing bad.
Okay, we did this the other day and we kind of fucked this up. So you're gonna say the team, and I'm gonna say win
Yes or
loss.
no? Okay, ready?
Yeah,
Columbus,
win,
Ottawa,
win.
Montreal,
Oh, loss,
Pittsburgh,
loss,
Seattle,
win.
Ottawa,
I'll say loss for this one.
Vancouver. You suck.
Oh, Vancouver's a loss. Oh my god,
San
that's my
Jose.
other team there. Those are my
San,
boys that come out.
San Jose.
Win.
Chicago.
We'll be San Jose like 1-0.
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah, win,
Tampa.
win,
Anaheim.
win,
LA.
loss.
And San Jose.
I'm gonna say loss because we're just gonna drop a game to San Jose.
I was not expecting this to go that way. I thought you were gonna put like two losses in there.
Dude, there's just no way they can't win a game back to back. I don't care who the hell they're playing.
I know, but that schedule is so soft for that entire month, man. It is so we play so Pittsburgh, we just talked about them. They're like 1 for 67 on the power play in the last like month. And then Seattle's dog shit. San Jose, I mean they're on a heater, but I think they'll come back down to earth. Chicago's awful. Anaheim lost like 13 in a row. And then San Jose again. The schedule is soft. If this I know we're going to record every week, but in the middle of this schedule, once this is over, the end of January, I will be either 100% in or 100% out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just feeling deflated because it's just like it seems like every couple weeks we're on this show and we're like, all right, this is what's gonna like this is coming around the corner, so we're finally gonna go on that run. This is coming around the corner, so we're gonna finally go on that run. It's like, all right, maybe we can beat up on some bad teams, but if we can't win the good ones, I don't know. So, but I don't know. That is a cushy schedule. It just it's so even more frustrating though that like you haven't positioned yourself in a good spot. It's just like the whole Tage injury thing. Like I feel like he was somewhat rushed back, although he's looked good. But like again, we didn't do them any favors in being like, hey Tage, you know what? We're doing okay. We're staying afloat. You know, rest up another couple weeks and then come back. Like the same thing
Right.
with Quinn. If he's not ready, it's like, you know what? Sorry, Jack. Like we need you. Like get the fuck up here. Like I I don't know. It's like they just put themselves in such a bad situation. But I will be before you go around the league because I gotta piss so bad. So when you do some around the league stuff, I'm gonna run out for 30 seconds and do that.
That's
But
fine. I'll start.
yeah, you can just do your stuff there. But I will be at the game next Tuesday. So Saber Spotlight will be in attendance against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's the first time I'm sitting in the 100 section. And I was perusing the Sabres app today, and I am absolutely fucking pumped because I just realized that it is Wooville night. So the Sabres are doing this. Did you see this? They're doing like a
No,
seasonal theme.
no,
So the
I
next
did not.
four home games, the Sabres are at KeyBank are doing like a seasonal theme. So and the first 10,000 guests will get it's like a unique holiday themed poster. So I'm gonna ask you this. So if it's Wooville night, what do you think that means?
It's a tuck poster.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I got that right away too, and like that, and it is. It says on there, but yeah, it's like it's a tuck poster. But dude,
That's funny.
they got some cool shit going on. So they got that going on, and then they have so on that night they have the legit like the exact. It says weather permitted, but they're having the exact Santa sleigh that was in the Grinch movie there that you can take pictures
Wow,
with.
really?
Yeah,
Really? Holy
yeah, and
shit,
they're
that's
gonna
kind of
have like
cool.
the Grinch. They're gonna have the Grinch and walking around the stadium with Max, who's gonna be the Saber pup. Oh, I forget his
Oh,
name.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh, what's the Sabres puppy name now? I don't even know.
I'll look it up while I'm taking a piss. But so so the Saber pup is gonna be Max, the dog. So they'll be walking around, and then they're doing like a little like outdoor thing before the game. So there's like music, there's like a DJ, there's like hot chocolate, and they said specialty crepes. You can get like complimentary gloves. They're having some pop up shops outside. So like I mean, they're doing what they can to get people to come to the game. But I'm excited because we love the Grinch and Katie loves the Grinch, and this is my first time sitting in the 100 section, so I cannot wait to see a 6-0 blowout by the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh my God, that's funny. But all right, you go take a leak, and I'll run around the league real quick. There's really only a couple things that happen, so I'll be done by the time you come back.
All right.
All right, guys. So let's just touch around the league a little bit. So earlier this week, Gary Bettman and the Board of Governors said that the salary cap is going to grow next season up to $87.7 million, which is a $4.2 million increase. It's nice to see that the NHL has had an increase in cap because it's been stagnant for so long. I think at least 3 seasons now where it's been around like the $81.5 million number. And it got up to like 83 this year. So like, going up a little bit next year is a good call. There's been a lot of like rough boarding calls. Like we didn't even talk about it in our game recap, but Eric Robinson got kicked out of a game for boarding recently, and then 2 games after that, in 2 separate games, 2 other guys only got 2-minute minors. So the officiating is just a disaster in this league, as we all know. But it was just so funny to see that Robinson gets kicked out for a love tap, and then 2 guys just no holds barred crush guys from behind, and that's a 2-minute minor. And then, Craig Berube, St. Louis coach, Stanley Cup winning coach, Craig Berube is fired by the St. Louis Blues. If an organization can fire Craig Berube, then an organization should be able to fire Don Granato. That's all I'm going to say about that. But in the media, Jordan Kyrou, their, $8.5 million or $8.75 million forward, he said in the media, they asked him how he feels about Craig Berube's firing, and he goes, don't care. He's not my coach anymore. Like, damn, that's crazy. Like, Matt, how do you feel about Kyrou's comments?
I mean, that's savage. We need
Like,
some of that on
I,
the Sabres, honestly.
it's insane. Like, I feel like it's so disrespectful to Berube, but hey, guy gets fired. And then I was just looking earlier. They're playing their first game without Berube, and this man, Jordan Kyrou, is getting booed on home ice in a game that they're winning right now. Every time he's touching the puck, he's getting booed. That's how much the St. Louis fans love their coach.
All right, so like my thought with that is like there is there is no way that a Saber player, if Don Granato ever got fired, would say that about him. Like I am fully certain that all the players like Don Granato and like
Yep.
playing for Don Granato. It's more just a question on can he get it done? But I think he's well liked for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny just to have a player just openly say that and then get booed by the home team. Like, damn, that's crazy. And really,
That is
I didn't touch on Peter Kochetkov tripping Kachuk. Did you see that? How did you feel
Oh
about that?
yeah, dude, that was bullshit.
I thought it was too. He goes right, so the listeners didn't see it. So Carolina goalie in the shootout, or it was a penalty shot, I think. Uh, Brady Kachuk goes down to obviously try and score, and Kachekov goes to poke the puck, and from the one angle, it looks like he's poking the puck, but he pokes Kachuk's legs on purpose, and the Kachuk slides into the boards. I thought that was absolutely horseshit, and in my opinion, should have been awarded a goal. But I've seen a lot of people be like, "Oh, good for Kachekov," and I just like kind of disagreed with that. I really don't think they would have been saying that if it wasn't Brady Kachuk. Like, I feel like he's kind of got like a negative reputation because he's got a little bit of a rat, like a tough player.
Yeah.
But no, that's really it for around the league. I mean, today we really don't know much about this, but Minnesota GM Bill Guerin is under investigation for alleged misconduct. Who knows what's going on there? What a sick league we have. But that's really it with the around the league. Not
It's
a lot happened, and not a lot happened.
what's crazy to me about that, going back to the Ottawa thing, the in the shootout, like
Yeah,
I cannot believe how many people I'm seeing online, like saying that it was a fine move, like that.
yeah,
Oh,
I know.
I
I
was like,
said that
this
like
is insane. I'm like, he literally took out his legs, and I'm like, okay, if there's legit a penalty called goalie interference if a player interferes with a goalie, like how is it right that a goalie can just literally take a guy out and like that's
Like
just fine?
he did not go for the puck like at
Oh
all.
no, not at all. He literally like hit his blade. Like that was such a reckless play. And I'm just like, and
But
the fact that he got up and like maybe Kachuk was saying something, but like the fact that he immediately got up after the poke check and like looked at Kachuk tells you that he was like, oh, I just fucked up. Like I shouldn't
yeah,
have done
like
that
he
because
gets
he was
up and start
expecting retaliation.
he gets up and he's like Kachuk's obviously barking at him and then he's like going back at him. I'm like, dude, that was a bullshit move you pulled there.
Yeah, that was a bullshit move. So before we get into the oh dude, I am so pumped for what we're about to get into. I got three things.
Okay.
Number one, Saber Pup, name is Blue.
Okay. Okay.
Number two, that piss felt amazing, but it's windy
I
out, so I
bet.
had to be careful for some backsplash. So I had to
Oh,
I didn't get any, but I'm just saying I had to be careful. And number three, I do think we should talk about Tony Granato real quick before we get into the Christmas bracket. I don't know if you did or not, but
no, I didn't.
we don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but sending thoughts and prayers obviously to Don and his family, and Tony, of course. He was diagnosed with cancer, and I don't remember the exact type, but it doesn't really matter. Something that he's going to be fighting through and battling through. And Tony seems like a nice guy, and I know he's well liked and well respected around the league. And you feel for Don and having to watch his brother go through that. I know they're real close, so hopefully he can find some comfort during this time, and just know that we're all praying for Tony to get through and win.
Well said, buddy. Well said.
All right, so let's go on to the Christmas bracket. So this is something fun we kind of thought up last minute. Actually, we knew we were gonna do like a movie thing this week, but what I like about this is we're gonna try and get interactive with the listeners here. So I'm gonna post this same bracket on our Twitter page
You
within the
gotta.
next couple
I was
days.
gonna tell you. I was gonna tell you. When you post this, you have to specify that seeds were randomly generated because
Oh
people are
yeah.
gonna look at these seeds and be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. So these are not. Yeah. So how this worked is we came up with separately. I had a list of my top Christmas movies. Ryan had a list of his top Christmas movies. We basically synthesized them together into one list, threw out any duplicates, and it ended up being a perfect number. It was 16 movies. We included cartoons in this also, so it's like a movie kind of cartoon bracket style. So we got a essentially like a quarter of an NCAA basketball tournament style here. And again, the numbers don't mean anything, so there's no upsets or anything like that. But how we did this is we randomly generated the bracket. I'm gonna go through the bracket here, and then we'll kind of go through like our one by one and get down to our winners. So this is just purely subjective stuff. Do you want to say something, Ryan?
No, I was just opening my bracket.
All right. So the movies here, and I'm gonna go down in order. Okay. So if there's a movie, so some of these are more Ryan's choices, and if I'm not familiar, I'll have you elaborate, and then vice versa. Although I think you pretty much know all of mine, maybe one or two. But the
There's some I
holiday,
have not seen.
the
Oh,
holiday
dude,
was is our number
amazing
one
movie.
seed. Yeah, I don't know
Which
much
is
about this one, so give just a quick thing about it.
quick thing. A Cameron Diaz plays a woman who recently breaks up. Well, not recently, but she's hung up on her boyfriend. So for the holidays, her ex-boyfriend gets engaged, and she takes a vacation, a holiday to England, and in a small house, and kind of like meets another guy, and it's just like a great Christmas movie. It's awesome.
Okay, I'll definitely watch it. So that is matched up against the 16 seed. Santa Claus is coming to town. The cartoon.
Everyone knows this movie. Come on.
Everyone knows that number. We got the 8 seed. Then is Spirited. Are you familiar with this
I don't
movie,
know.
Ryan?
What is this movie?
So Spirited, you know how I am with my Apple TV. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So this was a new movie on Apple TV last year. It's with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. It's like a spin off on the Christmas Carol,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like a musical too. Like there's some songs in it. It's kind of like a think about like a Greatest Showman, but for the Christmas Carol type thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so that's matched up against the Polar Express. So that's an interesting
Okay.
little matchup
I
there.
will say, I will say this. If if we did seeding, like if we ranked seeds and we had 16 seeds, like and we actually like ordered them properly, like how a regular like thing would go and not just randomized, Polar Express wouldn't even be in my fucking bracket.
Yeah, because you get creeped out by it, right?
I hate the animation of this movie. It's awful and weird. I don't like it at all.
All right, Silent Night, Deadly Night is the number 4 seed. That is a
Great threat.
that's a winner.
I'm a big horror movie fan, so I just love my horror movies, and this really is just about a kid that like witnesses his mother getting killed by a guy dressed as Santa, so he becomes a killer. It's such a good slasher. I love it,
Okay,
and
all right, interesting.
they've remade it and have had sequels like multiple times, so it's pretty good.
Well, bro, tough matchup for for Silent Night, Deadly Night because
Oh, I
it's
know.
going
It's
against
losing.
the
It's
Santa
losing.
Claus with Tim
Yeah,
Allen. So
it's losing. The original Santa Claus with Tim Allen, one of the greatest of all time.
then we get down to the 5 seed, Year Without a Santa Claus, the cartoon that's going up against Christmas Story. I'm sure everyone's familiar with those. Then
Okay.
we got the 2 seed, the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch, going up against
Yep.
Home Alone, the 15. That's interesting. We could have a 15 over two. Again, seeds mean nothing. I'm just talking like that, anyways. But
Right.
and then we got 7 seed, the animated Grinch, so the newer one
Oh,
from a
it
couple
was
years ago.
so good. It was, and you know what? I was looking for this because I'm like, I was talking to Lexi the other day, and I'm like, we gotta watch like Christmas movies. We gotta we gotta watch some movies this year. And I'm like, oh, we definitely gotta rewatch that animated Grinch. They took it off Netflix.
It's on Hulu right now.
Oh, it is? Okay, good, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's on
Okay,
Hulu. Yeah. But yeah, it is a good one. Sometimes you never know what those remakes are going to go, but and I mean the Cringe is tough to remake, but that's going against Charlie Brown Christmas, and then we got Christmas Chronicles. You know that one, Ryan?
yep, I know that one.
Okay, that's a Netflix one going against Elf. That's an interesting matchup there, and then we got Black Christmas and Fred Claus as the last two. I'm not familiar with Black Christmas.
It's it's another slasher, but this time it's set like in like a college sorority. Like it's a bunch of like women basically just getting murdered the whole time. It's really it's another classic, and it recently was just remade, I think, in 2019, and it was the remake was really good, but the original from like the 70s is awesome.
Okay, and that's going against Fred Claus. You're familiar with that? You've seen Fred
Yeah,
Claus?
I like Fred Claus.
Okay. All right. So there we go. We have the bracket. We're gonna whittle down to the elite eight here. So do you want to alternate? You want me just to go through? Why don't we?
Well,
Yeah. Why don't?
well,
What?
because it's gonna be different. Why don't you do your full bracket first,
Okay.
or down to the final four,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'll do mine down to the final four, and then we'll whittle it down.
Oh, dude, That was such good brainstorming by you. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that plan.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so first matchup here, Holiday versus Santa Claus is coming to town. This was a no-brainer for me. Santa Claus is coming to town is an absolute classic. I am moving that to my Elite Eight, and that's going to be matched up against Spirited. I got Spirited taking out the Polar Express. I do love the Polar Express. If it was matched up against some of these other ones, probably would have went another round for me. But Spirited, I love that movie. That is a good one. If you have Apple TV, you know what I'm talking about. Check it
Yep.
out. Silent Night, Deadly Night against Santa Claus. This might have been the easiest round one matchup ever. Santa Claus moving on to the Elite Eight. And then we got Year Without a Santa Claus against the Christmas Story. You know I'm going Year Without a Santa Claus. I love my Heat Miser. I love my Snow Miser. I will watch them all day, any day. And then we got Grinch and Home Alone. This is a tight one. This is a tight one. But I will say, I'm not as high on Home Alone as I think the majority of the world is. So I do like Home Alone, but I'm going with the Grinch there, and that's pretty that's a pretty wide margin for me, honestly, if I'm being
Okay.
fair. Then we got Grinch animated moving on against Charlie Brown Christmas. And then I'm taking Elf over the Christmas Chronicles. I thought about this one for a while.
For
this was
real?
like that. Yeah, this was like that 8-9 matchup for me. That's like 50-50. Like I don't know. I love Elf. Elf is a classic, but Christmas Chronicles is really good. That is a good movie. So I got that Elf moving on, and then I'm taking Fred Claus over Black Christmas. So moving on from there, getting into the heavy hitters now. Santa Claus is coming to town against Spirited. I'm actually taking Spirited in this.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah,
Upset of the century here for me.
I'm having Spirited move on. I love Spirited. I actually like listen to the soundtrack quite a bit. Like even when it's not Christmas time, I just like throw on my Apple Music and I'll like put on that soundtrack because it's pretty good. Santa Claus against Year Without a Santa, man, this one, this was an unfortunate matchup in the Elite Eight, but I'm going with the Santa Claus to move on to my Final Four. And then Grinch against the Grinch animated. A nice little matchup here in the Elite Eight. Old versus young, which is
Yep. I love
kind
it.
of nice. I'm going with the original. I'm going with the original Grinch. We're putting that through. And then I had an upset here in the bottom. I'm going Fred Claus over Elf. I'm a big Fred Claus fan.
Wow. Did you? Okay. So what's your final four?
So my final four: Spirited, the Santa Claus, the Grinch original, and Fred Claus. That's my final four.
Okay. Let me. That's a good final four. I'm curious to see how that turns out there.
All right, what do you got?
We're gonna do mine here. We're gonna do mine. Okay. So between the holiday and Santa Claus is coming to town, I'm putting Santa Claus is coming to town. What a great movie that is. I mean, it's fantastic. To tell the listeners, I totally forgot about the Rudolph movie. That's also a stop motion movie, and I just love that animation style. I think it's awesome, and I think I would have definitely put it in my bracket. But hey, Santa Claus is coming to town is gonna pull the weight there for my forgetting.
You know,
And
Don Lee
then,
needed to hear that last game when he was tripping all over himself. It's like just
yep.
put one foot in front of the other.
My second matchup between Spirited and the Polar Express, as much as I don't like Polar Express, I've never seen Spirited, so I can't actually say how good it is. So I have Polar Express moving on there.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then my next matchup between Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Santa Claus, dude, you know I'm taking the Santa Claus. Come on now, what a great movie that is. And then between Year Without a Santa Claus and A Christmas Story, dude, it's a Christmas story. I cannot believe you didn't have this one advanced.
Dude,
Come on now,
man, Year Without a Santa Claus is very high on my list.
come on. And then between Grinch and Home Alone, I'm right there with you. I kind of think the Home Alone is an overrated series, and the Grinch is wonderful. And then between the animated version of the Grinch, while I loved it, Charlie Brown Christmas is a classic. You gotta advance that one in the bracket there.
I
Even though
cannot
you didn't.
stand Charlie Brown stuff.
That's insane to me.
Dude,
You don't like
I
the Peanuts
cannot.
game?
I will watch it like they had the Thanksgiving one on. I watched it for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, this actually makes me like angry watching
That's
this.
insane to me. That is crazy.
Yeah, I just find no, I don't know, I just don't find it like entertaining. But I mean, this is why we do it. This is good.
Okay, well, but my second last first round matchup between Christmas Where am I? Where am I? Right there.
Yeah, Christmas
Christmas
Chronicles and Elf.
Chronicles and Elf. I'm taking Elf. I'm taking Elf all day.
Okay.
And then between Black Christmas and Fred Claus, I took Black Christmas because it's a great horror film. I mean, I love it a lot, and especially because it's been remade a couple times. It's fantastic. From
It's good
there,
to see a different genre get into the Elite Eight.
I know I'm a horror fan, horror buff. I wanted to
I mean, we
include
watched
that
the
there.
Sabres. You gotta be.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Okay, so my next round between Santa Claus is Coming to Town and who the fuck else did I win there? I am like lost now. Polar Express. Jesus Christ. I got Santa Claus is Coming to Town advancing. And then in
Okay.
my next matchup, I got it's gonna be the Battle of the Santas. I got the Santa Claus advancing to that round. In my next
Nice.
matchup, I've got Charlie Brown advancing. Love me some Charlie
Oh
Brown, dude.
man.
Love me some Charlie Brown. I do.
That's Charlie Brown over the Grinch.
Yes, yeah, Charlie Brown
Wow,
over the Grinch.
that is an upset of the century right there.
I know. I just like Charlie Brown a lot.
Oh man.
Uh, and then in my next matchup, I think we know where I'm going with this. We're taking Elf. We're taking Elf.
All right, so what's the final four on yours?
Santa Claus is Coming to Town, The
Yep.
Santa Claus, Charlie Brown Christmas, and Elf.
Okay, that's solid. That's
Those are
solid.
four heavy hitters right there.
All right, I'm gonna finish mine out, and then I'll let you finish yours
Yep,
out.
yep.
So I got Spirited here coming up against the Santa Claus. This one was tough. I'm telling you, man, I love this Spirited movie. I saw it once and I was like, oh, I like it, but I'm going with the Santa Claus to
Yeah,
make it
you
into the
have to.
final.
You have to. Come on.
And then we got the Grinch, again, the original one, going up against Fred Claus. Where do you think I went here?
Fred Claus.
Nope, I'm taking the Grinch. So I
Okay.
got the Grinch against Santa Claus in my final two.
Wow, your final two is different than mine.
The Santa Claus and the Grinch make it to the finals, and it was a hard fought game. This game actually went into overtime, but at the end of the day, the Santa Claus comes out on top.
That's so the Santa Claus is your favorite Christmas movie. That's a great. I mean, it's such a nostalgic one for us, especially as we were kids growing up. Like, when did it come out? 94, maybe 95. So like when once we were like 6 or 7 in like the 2000s, like that was like the movie to put on, you know?
Yeah, the Santa Claus is my favorite Christmas movie by far. I watch it the most. I mean, I have it on all the time now, especially because it's on Disney Plus. So, like, real quick before you go on to yours, like, the Santa Claus is my winner. How the bracket's set up, but like behind that, I'd put Year Without a Santa. That would actually be my number two seed in this bracket. I'm a huge fan of that, but that's more also just kind of like nostalgic for me. Like I used to watch that with my family growing up, and like so it just kind of like it gives me the warm and fuzzies whenever I watch it, and it just like takes me to a good feeling place. And then after that, I'd probably put Fred Claus or the Grinch number three, and then Fred Claus. Though that'd kind of be my top four
Okay,
top
that's
four
fair.
seeds if I was gonna go NCAA style.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So let me give you my final two between my final four. So advancing from my first matchup between Santa Claus is Coming to Town and the Santa Claus, I've got Santa Claus is Coming to Town advancing to my final two of Christmas movies. And then between Charlie Brown Christmas and Elf, I've got Elf advancing to my final two. Come on, man. Everyone loves Elf. Everyone loves Elf.
This
The
is
first
a
time
this is interesting. This is movie versus cartoon right now.
I know the first time I ever saw Elf, I think I was 15 and they showed it in school for one like Christmas time and they had like they advertised it come to the auditorium. We're showing Elf at like 7:30. That was the first time I've ever seen that movie. I have to interrupt you with something. If you had to guess what the score is of this football game,
Oh my god.
what would you say?
Well, it was 49 to nothing. I'm gonna say they maybe put up another 17. Can it be 66 nothing?
It is 63-7 with
Holy,
14:31 left in the fourth quarter.
they're up by 8 touchdowns. Oh my god, that is crazy.
Oh my God, just had to throw that in there as like a sleeper notification came up my phone. I had to bring it up.
Wow.
Okay, my final two. Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Elf, the movie I saw next to the first time I saw that movie in high school. I saw two people making out in front of me when I was 15. Never forget that. But man, I watch these two movies every single year. Every year.
Great
Last
context.
year, that's last year I went with my wife and her sister to the drive-in to see a dual screening of Elf and the Santa Claus, and that was so much fun. But I have to say, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is my all-time favorite Christmas movie.
Oh man, dude, I would have never guessed that that was number one.
I fucking love this movie so much.
Dude, it's so
So
good.
much, man. So much. It's just like I don't know. It's just so good. Like come on.
All right, so so give me your I'm with you there. First off, I mean, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is like it is great. I mean, it's definitely like my second favorite cartoon, right behind Year Without a Santa. It's just a great show, and like we got Hopper the Penguin, ha 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 ha. It's just like everything about it's so great. But like, all right, what are your
Well, and
top four
also,
seats?
you know how many times I've been called Yukon Cornelius when I grow my
Yeah, I
beard
can see
out like
that. I can see that
when
actually.
I grow my beard out like super long and it's in the winter. That's what I like to go by.
Yeah, and you're kind of like Santa. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I am.
deliver a lot of presents, I'm sure.
So if I had to say my top four, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is number one. Elf is number two, and then probably let's see. I'd probably put what's my third? The Santa Claus probably is my third. And then probably the animated Grinch, dude. I love that movie. I thought that was
Okay,
good.
interesting. Okay, I like it.
Even
I like it.
even though I took Charlie Brown Christmas ahead of me, I think that movie is like for the nostalgia factor. I love it, but in terms of like sitting down and watching a movie, I think I would rather watch the animated Grinch first and over the Charlie Brown one. But man, this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, this was a fun exercise. So again, we're gonna get this on our Twitter over the next couple days, and we'll put a picture of our bracket up if you want to kind of do the same exercise that we did. I'm interested to see what people are doing. But yeah, if you do it, like I said, tag us on Twitter and let's see what you. Let's. I'm interested to see what people are out there, or if you have any like other honorable mentions that we didn't have on the list, then let us know for that as well. But with that, we'll skip over the Amherst stuff. There hasn't been much going on there anyways because we're running a little long on the time. Amherst just they were 1-1 or 0-2 actually since last time. So they're currently in third in the North Division, and we can have some more on them next week hopefully. But looking ahead at the schedule for the next week, we got Friday against the Vegas Golden Knights. We're playing Stanley Cup champion Jack Eichel. That's brutal to say. Saturday against the Arizona Coyotes, and then Tuesday against Columbus. So Ryan, what are you thinking here? What is your prediction for the next week?
We've been a little negative on this podcast. I'm
But
gonna
it's
say
been
we're
light. It's been light negative.
I'm gonna say I know we gotta I'm feeling like it's too little too late. That's how I'm feeling, but I'm gonna give the boys a little credit and I'm gonna say we're gonna pick up all 6 points this week.
Wow, that is interesting.
And if they
Okay.
do that, they'll reel me right the fuck back in
I'll say four. I think I actually think we beat Vegas, just because it's something that we would do, and
and then
we'll
drop
probably
one.
we'll probably split against Jack, and we always play better on the road, anyways. And then I think we drop the Coyotes and beat Columbus,
Okay,
and I hope we beat Columbus because then again that's the game that I'll be at. So I'll say 4 out of 6 points.
that's fair. I mean that's good. If we get 4 out of 6, I'll be happy.
All right. Well, hopefully we didn't just jinx them because last time we said they were going to go 0 for 8 and they got 5. So we'll see what happens. But anything else here before we wrap it up, Ryan?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
All right. Well, you know what to do, folks. If you've been listening, and go
Tap
ahead
the
follow the
sign.
show, Apple,
Tap the
Spotify.
sign.
Yep, rate us on YouTube. You already know we got this sign right there. Maybe I'll bring the loose leaf back next week too, so we can have a couple up there.
No, here. The Sabres, let's say the Sabres got to earn the sign. They got to earn the sign. If they get the majority of their points, the sign stays. If they
Six for
don't, the,
six, and we bring the loose leaf back.
oh, okay.
If they make you look good on your prediction and go 6 for
The
6,
sign stays.
the loose leaf is coming back. But you
Oh,
already know.
you think the loose leaf should come back if they do well? I'm saying the loose leaf should come back if they play shitty.
No, the loose leaf is nostalgic, man. People
But
want
what?
the
Yeah,
loose
but
leaf.
wouldn't you want to keep if they get 6 of 6? Wouldn't you want to keep this going? The same thing.
I don't know. I don't know. It's what the people want. The people want the loose leaf.
All
I'll just
right.
keep them both. I'm not taking this down. This will stay. It'll just
Okay,
be
it'll
an
come. The
addition.
loose leaf will come back. Okay. I feel you.
You
I
know?
feel you.
Yeah. So, or maybe I'll put it on my chest. I don't know. Whatever. I'll be like Cam Newton, just open it up and it'll be there. I don't know. But
That'd be fucking hilarious.
so we're now on YouTube. If you guys haven't checked us out there, that's a good platform to be able to interact with us as well. Comment on the videos and watch us over there. But rate, review, subscribe, follow us on Twitter and X. Ryan, I'm not going to have you yell at me this time, so go ahead and plug your Twitter here.
It's at RMC1492.
And then I'm at Matt Walsh PT. Also, check our show notes for the email address. And if you have any questions, you can always send it there. Any feedback for the show. And it looks like my wife also put a note in here at the end of our show doc that she's the best. So I guess I got to get that
Did
in
she
here
really?
before we go.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's so funny. How does she know who? Like, what if Lexi put that in there? How do we know which wife is actually the best?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
we'll
So
just say they're both the best. So,
yeah, they're both the best. They're both the
yeah.
best.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening to us here. And like I said, check out the Twitter. We'll put the Christmas stuff up there, and we'll be seeing everybody next week, hopefully after a few wins. But later.
See ya.